Man accused of a sexual report at the Larned State Hospital will face charges in Kansas. The charges against Coyote Ogunba stem from last October when the alleged incident happened. At the time, he was employed by a staffing agency under contract to provide services for the Kansas Department of Aging and Disability Services. He's charged with one count of rape, currently in a California jail right now, on charges that the Pawnee County attorney describes as similar in nature to the ones he faces in Kansas.